I think the increased investments by the public sector to the extent of 70,000 crores is a pretty positive move because we do have still a lot of stress in the system of private players, and therefore kick-starting the infrastructure capacity creation through public sector is a good move. Second important aspect of this budget by Finance Minister has been a creation of a National Infrastructure Investment Fund. The annual outlay of 20,000 crores is a big step in that direction because this will be able to have a multiplier impact. The fund will be able to raise money through international investors, the long-term pension funds, and then when it goes down as an equity into the various investment vehicles, they would be further able to leverage that equity, and therefore the multiplier impact of this outlay annual year would be pretty high. There has been a good positive intent to address some of the key concerns of domestic and international investors around the infrastructure, which pertains to policy, regulatory and the contractual environment issues, which is to say the regulatory reform bill which is being talked about, the contracts or the dispute resolution bill which is being talked about. There was a positive mention about a need to reboot the PPP model itself. And more importantly to me was a mention of the fact by Finance Minister that some of the risk has to be addressed by sovereign. I think that's a pretty important statement, and we do hope to see, how does it translate into the real action on the ground and what models they come out on the contractual side. I think the Bankruptcy Act creation is again a very positive move over a medium to long term from a sector point, because we have seen that how BFR and SICA has not been pretty helpful for a recovery and the restructuring of some of these stress assets. I would have just liked to see some more action on creating on getting the stress assets back into the system by resolution of a multiple sort of issues, because as we know in infrastructure side we have a lot of stress assets, especially in the power and the highway sector. For roads and highways, for roads and railways, it's a pretty positive budget. There has been increased outlay on these two sectors. However, for the power, while we saw the reiteration of a commitment on the renewable sector, but we didn't see any of our measures to really get that investment capacity increase to multifold as has been talked about. Minister did mention about the power plug and play model for creating ultra mega projects. However, again, given the stretched balance sheet of the developers, how much capacity really comes up and by when remains a sort of a question mark. So overall, I think from a policy and a vision perspective to address some of the issues, to create additional funds is a big positive. The only negative I would see for a sector like power and also the fact that getting the stressed capacity addressed is what probably hopefully we see that various respective nodal ministries may get into more of policy implementations and the measures to get that issue addressed out. Thank you.